Dr. John was offered more money than he had earned in his entire career. The man across the table didn't raise his voice, he didn't threaten, he simply placed an envelope between them. Inside was a number so large John had to read it twice. The offer was simple: no paperwork, no hospital records. No one would ever know. A patient in a coma, an organ taken quietly, a buyer waiting, one surgery, one night, enough money to solve everything. Jan closed the envelope. My father didn't raise me to save one life by stealing another. He stood up and left. At that moment, his father was dying. 2 weeks earlier, everything had been normal. Jan was one of the most respected surgeons in the hospital. Calm hands, perfect record. He believed medicine had rules. You save the patient in front of you. You never harm another to do it. Those rules had never been tested. Until his father collapsed. Liver failure. Aggressive. Sudden. Unforgiving. The doctors gave him a timeline. Weeks. Maybe less. Without a transplant, there was no path forward. Jan did what doctors always do. He searched for solutions. Donor lists, specialists, international calls. But the truth was simple. The waiting list was longer than the time his father had left. That's when the offer came. A former medical school colleague, now working in the shadows of medicine. People with money don't wait on lists, he said. They solve problems. Jan knew exactly what that meant. The organ wasn't coming from a willing donor, and the patient it came from would never consent. That night, Jan didn't sleep. He sat beside his father's hospital bed, machines breathing for him, monitors translating life into numbers. Jan had saved hundreds of people in his career, but he couldn't save the one person who mattered most. The thought returned again and again. Just one surgery, just one decision, just one compromise. No one would know. The human brain is very good at rewriting morality when love is involved. Jan felt it happening. Slowly, quietly, dangerously. The next day he met the man again. Same cafe. Same envelope. The number was even higher this time. You're not taking an organ, the man said. You're saving your father. Jan looked down at the envelope. Then he pushed it back again. My father didn't teach me medicine so I could become this. And he walked away. 3 days later his father's condition worsened. Organs failing. The doctors started preparing the family. The word miracle was no longer mentioned. Medicine had done everything it could. Jan stayed in the room that night, alone, listening to the machines. He whispered something he had never said before. I'm bringing it up on retention point. Sometimes doing the right thing feels exactly like losing. Then something changed. At first the nurses thought it was an equipment error, a small improvement in the blood work. Then another, then another. Within a week, the numbers stabilized. The doctors used the word carefully. Recovery. No transplant, no surgery, just recovery. They didn't understand it. Neither did Jan. A month later, his father woke up fully, weak, confused, but alive. Jan sat beside him, still trying to process what had happened.
Dad, do you remember anything?
His father thought for a moment, then he said something strange. I had a dream. Jan leaned forward. In the dream, you were sitting with a man. There was an envelope on the table, and you pushed it back. His father smiled weakly. I remember thinking, that's my son. Jan didn't respond. He couldn't, because that moment had been real. The envelope, the decision, the walk away. His father had never known about it, until the dream. Some people call stories like this miracles. Some call them coincidence. John doesn't argue about it anymore. He just remembers the moment when the envelope was in front of him, because that moment was the real test, not the recovery, not the dream, the choice. Every day Jan walks into the operating room knowing something different now. Medicine saves lives, but character decides which lives you're willing to sacrifice. That night he could have saved his father by becoming someone else. Instead, he chose to remain himself, and that choice was his last choice. Last choice.